So I'm Stefan Paula. I'm in the chemistry department at NKU. I'm an associate professor. And the research that we're doing is in the area of computer-assisted drug design. And more specifically, what we're trying to do is try to find small molecules that can bind to larger proteins, and the binding of those small molecules shuts down the function of those proteins. So it stops them from working. It's a pretty common approach. Many drugs that are on the market nowadays work based on that principle. The proteins that we're working with, and probably the one that we spent most of our time on, is calcium ATPase. Goes by the name of SERCA, and it's been shown that the inhibition of that enzyme can be exploited for cancer chemotherapy. So basically, two applications that you can think of. One of them, and that is more fundamental, that doesn't have any direct use, is learn what the roles of the protein was in the first place. So that's one. And the other more practical application, we want to find molecules that specifically bind to this type of protein while leaving all the others alone. And we're hoping that this could lead to eventually to the development of drugs that can be useful to treat prostate cancer. What we're trying to do in the future with the help of the new grant is to expand on that and also look at living systems. For instance, we started cell culture work where we study the effect of those inhibitors on a living system, which can be quite different from a system that just contains your isolated protein. It's getting an NIH grant, one of the larger ones at least. It requires preparation. It requires the gathering of preliminary data, and oftentimes you have to submit it more than once before it gets funded. And so you have to have persistence, and during the time you're trying, you have to have some source of support. And in that regard, I think the NKU, the college, and my department in particular were very helpful, and so was KBRIN, who has supported us from, I think, from the very beginning on, and whose support is still very important to us.